According to a UNICEF report, at least a third of world school children were unable to access remote learning when COVID-19 shuttered their schools. Nearly 1.5 billion school children were affected by school closures during the lockdown. Remote Learning Reachability report outlines the limitation of remote learning and exposes deep inequalities in access, with school children from poor and rural households being the most disadvantaged. Globally, 72% of school children are unable to access remote learning live in their country's poorest households. In upper middle income countries, they account for up to 86%, constituting of 3/4 of these school children being from rural areas. The most affected have been school children in sub-Saharan Africa, with half of all students unable to be reached with remote learning. In India alone, over 1.5 million schools have been closed due to the pandemic, affecting 286 million children from pre-primary to secondary levels, of which 49% are girls. This adds to the 6 million girls and boys who were already out of school prior to the COVID-19. The report further highlights that only 24% of Indian households have internet connections to access e-education, and there is a large rural, urban and gender divide that is likely to widen the learning gap across high, middle and low income families. Students and girls from most marginalized communities do not easily have access to smartphones, and even if they do, internet connectivity is poor and quality education content is often not available in vernacular languages. Though government initiatives through digital and non-digital platforms in India ensured continuous learning at home, UNICEF warns the situation is likely far worse and urges government to bridge the digital divide, reach every child with remote learning, prioritize safe reopening of schools, and additionally incorporate compensatory learning for lost instructional time.
So when it comes to the situation in India, our 15 lakh schools have been closed, and we estimate that that has affected about 29 crore children throughout the country. In addition to that, we had estimates already that there are about 60 lakh children who have not been going to school. So it's affecting a wide number of children. Especially we see that children in rural areas and those in poorer families are more likely to be affected because they do not have access or they are least likely to get access to remote learning.
The report uses a global analysis of the potential reach of remote learning policies using data from 100 countries. The data include access to television, radio and internet, and the availability of curriculum delivered across these platforms during school closures.